Welcome to our spine-chilling journey into the world of haunted dolls. These aren't just toys, they're vessels of dark, terrifying spirits. Brace yourself as we uncover the horrifying backstories of the 5 most haunted dolls. We're diving deep into the haunted history of these objects, places where the veil between our world and the other side is thin. These are more than just stories, they're glimpses into the darkest corners of the paranormal world. He sits there, in that glass case, dressed in his little sailor suit. His eyes, those black, piercing eyes, they follow you. They seem to bore into your soul. You can almost hear the faint echo of giggling whispers, feel the chill in the air as you get closer. This is no ordinary doll. This is Robert the doll.
Robert wasn't always the scary doll he is now. He started innocently enough as a gift for a young boy named Robert Eugene Otto in Key West, Florida, back in 1906. A gift from a Bahamian servant, some say a scorned servant with knowledge of the dark arts, who imbued this doll with something sinister.
The family would hear the boy, Gene, talking to the doll, having full conversations. They'd hear Gene's voice, and another, much deeper voice replying. They chalked it up to childhood imagination at first, but then furniture started moving. Objects would fly off shelves, and always that deep, menacing laughter echoing from Gene's room. Gene would claim that it wasn't him, that Robert had done it.
Robert did it, he'd say with an eerie calmness, his own gaze fixed on the doll.
Years passed. Gene grew up, and Robert the doll was relegated to the attic. But the stories persisted. Locals would whisper about seeing a figure in the window of the old Otto house. A small figure in a sailor suit, staring out. Then one day, Gene died. The house was sold and new owners moved in. The new family's young daughter stumbled upon Robert in the attic. She claimed he was alive, that he spoke to her, threatened her. She was terrified of him. The family tried to get rid of Robert, threw him away, but he kept coming back. They'd find him back in the house, sitting at the foot of the daughter's bed, his cold, glass eyes staring. Today, Robert resides in a museum. People come from all over, drawn by his dark legend. Some scoff, but others feel that chill. They see the fear reflected in Robert's glass eyes. A fear that mirrors their own, and they leave, quickly. She sits, confined within her glass case, a Raggedy Ann doll with rosy cheeks and a painted-on smile. But don't let that innocent appearance fool you. This is no children's toy, this is Annabelle, and she is a conduit for something truly evil.
It all started innocently enough, back in the 1970s. A young nursing student named Donna received Annabelle as a birthday gift from her mother. A harmless gift, or so she thought. It wasn't long before Donna and her roommate, Angie, started noticing strange things happening around the apartment. Annabelle would move on her own. They'd find her in different rooms, different positions, her limbs contorted in unnatural ways.
At first, they dismissed it, but the occurrences grew increasingly disturbing. Then came the messages. Chilling notes scrawled in childish handwriting on parchment paper. "Help us," one message read. "Help Lou." Lou was a friend of Donna's. The girls were terrified. Who was writing these messages and how?
Desperate for answers, Donna and Angie contacted a psychic medium. What the medium revealed sent chills down their spines. Annabelle was no ordinary doll. She was possessed by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins, who had died tragically on that very spot years earlier. But Annabelle wasn't just looking for comfort. She craved a human host, a body to possess.
The activity escalated. One night, Lou woke up in a cold sweat, paralyzed in fear. He looked down and saw Annabelle perched at the foot of his bed. He felt a sharp, searing pain in his chest, and when he looked down, there were what appeared to be claw marks on his body. Terrified, Donna and Angie contacted renowned paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens immediately recognized the malevolent energy surrounding Annabelle. This was no innocent child. This was something demonic, something masquerading as a child to lure in its victims.
The Warrens removed Annabelle, locking her away in their occult museum. But even locked away, the evil within her festers. Visitors claim to feel an overwhelming sense of dread, of being watched. Some even report seeing the doll move, its head turning slowly to follow them with those cold, lifeless eyes.
Imagine, if you will, a doll so disturbing, so inherently evil in its appearance, that a chill crawls down your spine just looking at it. This is the doll of Salo, a horrifying relic discovered in the 1970s in the ruins of an abandoned house in Salo, Finland.
This isn't your typical porcelain doll. This one is crudely made, fashioned from wood and scraps of cloth. Its face a grotesque caricature frozen in a silent scream. Its eyes, those empty, soulless eyes, seem to stare right through you, into the darkest recesses of your soul.
Locals whisper tales of the doll's origins, dark tales of ancient rituals and sacrifices performed by those who dabbled in forbidden knowledge. They say the doll was used as a conduit, a vessel to summon and trap something evil, something ancient and powerful.
After its discovery, the doll found its way to a local museum. It was kept locked away, hidden from public view, but even behind locked doors, the evil seeped out. Museum staff reported hearing strange noises coming from the storage room, whispers, disembodied voices, and blood-curdling screams.
Objects would move inexplicably, doors would slam shut, and an oppressive feeling of dread permeated the air. Some staff members even claimed to have seen the doll move, its head turning slowly, its wooden limbs twitching as if animated by some unseen force. Just south of Mexico City, nestled among the canals of Xochimilco, lies a place so disturbing, so shrouded in sorrow and unsettling energy, that it sends chills down the spines of even the most hardened skeptics. This is Isla de las Muñecas, the island of the dolls. It's not the dolls themselves that make this place so unnerving, though their decaying forms and vacant stares are unsettling enough. It's the sheer number of them, hundreds upon hundreds of dolls, hanging from trees, nailed to walls, their lifeless eyes staring out from the shadows. The island's grim history began in the 1950s with a man named Don Julian Santana Barrera. Don Julian, a recluse who sought solace from the world, became the island's caretaker. One day, he made a gruesome discovery: the body of a young girl drowned in the canal, a lifeless doll floating beside her. Haunted by the girl's death, Don Julian hung the doll in a tree as a makeshift memorial, a way to honor her spirit and ward off evil. But it wasn't enough. Don Julian claimed to be haunted by the girl's spirit, as well as other lost souls he believed were trapped on the island. He began collecting dolls, any dolls he could find, and hanging them from trees, fences, the walls of his shack. In the heart of New Orleans, a city steeped in mystery and steeped in the occult, lies a dark secret. It is not a haunted house, nor a graveyard, but something far more insidious, a voodoo doll, imbued with dark magic and fueled by a legacy of pain.
This is not the kind of doll you'd find in a toy store. This doll is crudely fashioned, stitched together from scraps of burlap and cloth, its face a blank canvas onto which fear is readily projected. It is said to have been created by a powerful voodoo queen, a woman scorned, her heart filled with vengeance.
Legend has it that the voodoo queen poured all her rage, all her pain into the doll, imbuing it with a power that could inflict real-world harm. It is said that she used the doll to curse her enemies, driving them mad, bringing them misfortune, and even death.
The doll changed hands over the years, passed down through generations, its dark power growing with each transaction. Some owners tried to destroy it, to break its curse, but to no avail. The doll, it seemed, was indestructible.
Those who dared to possess the doll often met with grim fates. They would experience vivid nightmares, waking up in cold sweats, the feeling of unseen hands around their throats. Accidents would befall them. These haunted dolls are not simply relics of childhood, but dark vessels carrying the spirits of the past, spirits that may not be so willing to rest. They linger in our nightmares, their glass eyes watching, waiting, and whispering from the corners of our homes. If you ever find yourself near one of these cursed dolls, think twice before you touch them. For as you'll soon realize, some things are better left undisturbed. We've journeyed into the heart of darkness, explored the unsettling world of haunted objects, and confronted the chilling reality that evil can take many forms. But as we step back from the precipice of fear, let us remember that these stories serve as a reminder. The world is full of mystery, of things that go bump in the night, of things that defy rational explanation. Keep an open mind, trust your instincts, and never underestimate the power of the unknown, because sometimes the things that scare us the most are the things we can't explain.